Hello everyone, welcome. I hope this video finds you well. In this lesson, we are going to sharpen your skills with a very important topic. For this lesson, we are going to use the verb dessiner. Dessiner is a regular ER verb in the present tense. It's the first conjugation. We've had the first conjugation, second conjugation, and third conjugation already. In other words, ER verbs, IR verbs, and RE verbs in the present tense. So we're going to return to ER verbs and cover this a little bit more in depth. So first of all, the verb dessiner means to draw. Remember that for regular ER verbs, you use the following endings. These are endings that you simply must memorize. Native speakers have to memorize them. They just do so through practice. There's really no way to avoid it if you want to have the skill to conjugate consistently well regular ER verbs. You just have to memorize the endings. So once you have those memorized, then you're ready to go. So let's go back to the infinitive. Remember that the infinitive is the form of the verb that has not been conjugated. That means it doesn't have a past tense, present tense, or future tense yet. It does not have a subject. It is just the verb which conveys the meaning of the verb, either the action or the state. Okay, so you've memorized those endings. You have your infinitive. The first thing to do you remember what the first thing to do is? It's very simple. Remove the ER. Once you remove the ER, you have what we call the stem of the verb, or the root. We can use root or stem interchangeably in this specific context. So this is the stem, this is the root. And once you know the stem or the root, then all you have to do is add the endings that you've memorized to that to get the different forms. So it's really simple. So let's practice and review here. So we'll start with the root. And for the subject je, you've memorized it, and that's the E or the E. So je dessine. And this means I draw. But remember that a verb, and this is very important, a verb conjugated in the present tense can have at least 3 different meanings just depending on the context in which it's used. So, je dessine, do you know what the 3 meanings are for this one? They are, 1, as I've mentioned, I draw. This can also mean I do draw. This is what we call in English the emphatic do. When someone asks you a negative question, you don't draw, do you? You might say, oh, on the contrary, I do draw. That's emphatic do. So the present tense conjugation in French, je dessine, can also have that meaning, I do draw. So I draw, I do draw. Or it can mean you are doing it right now. You are in the process of doing it. I am drawing. I draw, I do draw, I am drawing. Those 3 meanings from this one form. And that goes for all of the different forms in the present tense. So the next one, tu. We start with our root, and then add the ending that goes with tu, which is the es. And we have tu dessines, you draw. But remember, it can mean you draw, you do draw, or you are drawing, just depending on context. Il, elle, on. Start with our root. Add the ending. Il dessine, elle dessine, on dessine. So he draws, she draws, or one draws. Or remember, 3 meanings. For example, il dessine, he draws, he does draw, he is drawing. Nous. Start with the root. Add your ending, ONS for this one. Nous dessinons. We draw. We do draw. We are drawing. Vous. Start with the root. Add the ending, which is EZ in this case. Vous dessinez. You draw, you do draw, you are drawing. And finally, il, elle. We start with our root, and then we add the ending, ENT. So, dessine, il dessine. They draw, they do draw, they are drawing. Elle dessine, same meaning. They draw, they do draw, they are drawing. A note about pronunciation. Dessine, 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 dessine. So, je, tu, il, elle, on, and il, elle, plural, are all pronounced the same. Je dessine, tu dessines, il dessine, elle dessine, on dessine, il dessine, elle dessine. So, dessine, 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 dessine. So there are only 3 different forms that you actually hear. If I were to just say the forms, you would just hear dessine, dessinons, dessiner. Dessine, dessinons, dessiner. So just those 3 forms. And this goes for the majority of regular ER verbs. The pronunciation is going to follow that pattern. Okay. So now a little bit of application. If you want to say, for example, I draw well, you would say je dessine bien. If you want to say I do draw well, you would also say je dessine bien. Or if you want to say I'm drawing very well, like right now, you would also say je dessine bien. I draw poorly or badly, mal, here means bad or badly, poorly, so je dessine mal. In English, you probably would say I don't draw well instead of I draw poorly or badly, but it's the same meaning nonetheless. Je dessine mal. I draw poorly. I do draw poorly. I am drawing poorly. And then you can draw, for example, a picture of a bird, un oiseau. So, je dessine un oiseau. I draw a bird. I do draw a bird, or I am drawing a bird. A little bit more practice. Tu dessines, you draw, remember the informal you. This would be addressing a person that you know well. Tu dessines bien, you draw well. Tu dessines mal, you draw poorly. Tu dessines un oiseau, you draw a bird. And again, remember, it can have 3 meanings. Tu dessines bien, you draw well, you do draw well, you are drawing well. Okay, another example. He draws. Il dessine. Remember, he draws, he does draw, he is drawing. So if I want to say he draws well, il dessine bien. He does draw well, il dessine bien, same thing. He is drawing well, il dessine bien. He draws poorly, il dessine mal. He is drawing poorly, il dessine mal. He does draw poorly, il dessine mal. He's drawing a bird, or he draws a bird, or he does draw a bird. Il dessine un oiseau. Okay, well that's it for this lesson. An important review of some of the very basics of conjugating ER verbs. This is very important because the majority of verbs that you will encounter in French are regular ER verbs. There's just so many of them. So be sure you know how to do this, and that will contribute to your ultimate success in being able to communicate in French in the future. That's it for this lesson. Thanks so much for watching. Thank you so much, subscribers, and thank you for all of your positive comments and your feedback. I appreciate it very much. If you found this helpful, give it a like. If you know someone that is learning French and you think this might benefit them, please share. And then, of course, subscribe. Thank you, subscribers, for already subscribing. To go on to another lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. À bientôt.